Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm TopherSmurf, and in today's video we're going to talk about something that plagues so many players in Summoner's War Chronicles, and that's hitting a combat power wall. You've been playing for a couple days or even a couple weeks now and you just aren't getting anywhere. You can't clear that next level 15 dungeon, you can't move on to the next TOA floor, the next raid boss is just still too difficult. You just feel like you're not making any progress. I've compiled a list of ways to keep you powering up your account. I'm going to break this up into three major parts: account progression, summoner progression, and monster progression. Let's start with the things that you can be doing to improve your overall account and in turn be increasing your combat power. Now I'm sure you've heard this one before, but you can be increasing the amount of experience you're getting or even the gold that you're gathering by going to the Florence Hot Springs. It's really easy. Head over to the main city in Florence, head over to the middle area called the Hot Springs, here it is on the map. Make sure to head into the hot springs and use one of your resources, preferably one of the more rare ones, the ones with the blue border, and you can get a maximum of 6% experience bonus or 6% more gold while you're farming. Try to do this before any one of your farming sessions so that way you can be increasing the amount of gold or experience that you're getting during those times. For the most part, you want to be dumping all of your resources into a single summoner, but if you are hitting a wall, head back to one of your other summoners and complete the main quest all over again. You're going to reap the same rewards that you did the first time on both your other two summoners. To add on to that, you can even go back and complete all of the blue area quests all over again, reaping all of the same rewards that you did the first time. A lot of these rewards include scrolls, legendary scrolls, light dark scrolls, gold, breath of life, you name it. You get tons more resources by going back and completing both the main quest and the area quests. If you find that you have nothing to build right now, here's a way that you can increase your entire account level and get more skills towards your skill up tree. You have tons of monsters in your monster box, 2 stars, 3 stars, and even some 4 stars that you're just not using. Level them up all the way to that first evolution. As you level them up, you'll be gaining experience towards your account, giving you more skill points towards that account skill tree. As you can see, we started at 22,000 XP and ended a little over 24,000 XP, only by leveling up about a dozen 3-star monsters. Let's take a look at the powers of Ascension. These are base stats that are spread across all of your account summoners and monsters. You will need to work your way up the Spire of Ascension and complete the 3 challenges for each floor to earn the other currencies. Remember that the Tower of Ascension's special room meter will increase even when doing the Spires of Ascension, including the element towers. They all count towards that meter, so make sure that you're keeping track, and every 10 floors or every 10 challenges that you clear, go do the special room and reap those rewards. Now you may be asking, which section should I put all of my points into? Well, overall you're going to want to spread them out, but I would mostly focus on the blue summon powers. This is going to give you base stats towards your monster. Remember this simple rule of thumb: there's only 1 summoner and 3 monsters, so more stats to your monsters is typically going to net you more combat power. Make sure to be focusing on which stats are going to benefit your team best. And also, when you get into the Immemorial powers for your summoner, make sure to figure out which stats are going to be best for your summoner. For an Orbia main, you typically want to focus on attack. Cleef, defense, and Kina mains typically want more HP. Now you may have noticed that the collection book gives you a decent amount of rewards for hunting down different types of monsters. This is something that you can be doing on the side when you're working or even while asleep. Head over to the collection book, find a monster that you haven't quite leveled up yet or hunted enough of yet, and head over to that monster's area, press the auto button, and let it go for a couple of hours. When you come back, you've likely completed that monster's collection book and reaped the rewards from the collection book. Not only that, you've been gaining experience and gold while hunting those monsters in the field. So this is a great thing that you can be doing while you're not manually playing the game. Alright, there are some tips for some account level up progression, but now let's focus on your summoner, either Kina, Orbia, or Cleef, and find out some ways that we can level their combat power. Let's start with enhancing your gear. Your gear and accessories are easily the most important thing for your summoner's combat power. It's simple. The higher level your gear, the better your combat power. The story mode is going to give you a decent amount of gear and give you better gear along the way, but I would not level this gear up very high, maybe to +3 or even +6 if it's a 5-star weapon. After you start completing raids like Foggy Prison, Metis, and Naraka, you're going to start getting some great legendary gear drops. Once you start getting that nice legendary gear, then I would consider +9ing or even +12ing some of that gear. On the topic of gear, let's look at gems and effect stones. Good gems and effect stones spread across your weapons and sub-weapons can improve your summoner power by a lot. Think about what your summoner needs and what your monster needs, and apply the best stones and gems. A quick tip for gemstones: make sure don't sell them, disassemble them, or put in another gem without first removing the old gem at a handworker station. You're going to need a lot of these gems to level up your alchemy profession, so make sure you don't accidentally get rid of them. Also, don't disassemble a weapon if it has gems on it. Go to the handworker first and remove those gems. I've been talking a lot about the alchemy profession because it's one of your most important, notably because it's the profession where you can build skill books. Once you reach level 6 in your alchemy profession, you can start using these resources you've been saving up to create skill books, which turn into skill points which you can use towards leveling up your summoner's power. You can also get to level 4 of cooking and create the same skill books. But these take quite a bit more resources for this recipe, so I would suggest trying to get to level 6 of alchemy and create them there. Another quick tip for skill books is when you're working on your other summoners, you want to make sure to save all of those skill books that you obtain from the quest and the area quest, and make sure to not open them until you are on your main summoner. If you open those books while you are on your alt summoner, those skill points will now be locked into that summoner. So make sure to save those books in your inventory and use them and open them only when you're on your main summoner. We talked about account skills earlier in the video, but believe it or not, your power level will increase based on the appropriate usage of your account skills for your chosen summoner. For instance, focus on your monster account skills like damage percent, HP percent, and for your summoner points, put them into the stat that benefits your main summoner most. For Orbia mains, leveling up your attack percent is going to net you with more combat power. For Cleef mains, raising your defense is more important because it makes him tankier and his damage scales on defense. The last thing I want to talk about for your summoner is Transcendence. Transcendence is a big part of leveling up your summoner. Once you reach level 60, you won't be able to progress farther until you transcend. In order to transcend to level 1, you will need 10 of each color energy orb. It takes 5 smaller pieces to craft within the alchemy profession. If you're playing the game on a daily basis, you shouldn't really have to farm for these pieces and will get them naturally. But later on, for level 2 and level 3 Transcendence, you may end up needing to farm. You can get the different color pieces from the respective dungeons. The Path of Training gives you red pieces, purple from the Path of Adventure, and the green ones come from Subjugation. You will also get these pieces from the Rupture dungeons, so make sure to be doing those daily. You can also get the pieces from level 3 of the Special Expedition. Level 3 is not easy, but doing all 50 runs every day is definitely worth it. Alright, let's move into our last section, monster progression. This game is primarily based around your monsters and your monster teams, so naturally raising their combat power will raise your overall account power. First and foremost, to raise your monster power, you need to level them up to level 70. It's pretty much not worth using a monster in most cases if they're not already level 70. This is the easiest though. Next is skill ups. Skill ups are probably the most important thing that you can do for your monster to raise their combat power and usefulness. To skill up a monster, you will either need a Devilmon or pieces from that monster family. Devilmons are an extremely rare and vital resource. Never use a Devilmon on a 4-star monster, and save those Devilmon for your 5-star monsters. A great way to get pieces for your monsters is of course summoning, but also using the altar to determine which monsters you'd like to put priority on. Make sure to be putting in your core Nat 5s and in other important 5 stars into the altar so that way you get duplicates for both skill ups and later awakening. If you didn't already know, you can actually reset the altar blessing down at the bottom right. Let's say, for instance, you're a little bit later into the game, you've gone into a summoning session and you went ahead and summoned all 3 of your altar blessings, especially the Nat 5s. If you did summon all 3, you could reset the altar blessing, put 3 new ones in, or put the same 3 Nat 5s back into the altar blessing for either skill ups or awakening. Now, I know that summoning new monsters is always fun, but in order to really raise your combat power, you're going to need lots of duplicates for both skill ups and awakening 15 your monsters. On that note, I would definitely prioritize skill ups over awakening 15. Now, obviously, awakening is an important thing for your monsters, but it also takes a ton of resources to get your monsters to awaken 15. I would suggest getting to about awaken 12 and then holding off there and make sure that everything is skilled up before then transferring all those resources into awakening 15 those monsters. Another important reason to use your altar to summon dupes is to level up your monster book and increase the book effect of each monster. As you can see, as you summon more of that same monster, you're going to go up a level in the book effect, giving you more stats towards that monster. The last part and last piece of monster progression is your runes. Runes are an extremely important part of this game, and improving your runes is going to improve your combat power. Putting the right runes on the right monsters will really help raise your combat power. Plus, as you farm for better and better runes, the more efficient runes are going to net you with more combat power overall. So the grind is never over, and we're always going to be farming those dungeons for the absolute most efficient runes that we can get. Make sure to be checking back in with your monsters and your rune inventory to see if you need to power up some runes that might help your overall combat efficiency. Alright guys, I hope this guide helped you get to the next milestone in your Summoner's War Chronicles journey. Let me know down in the comments section what power level you are now and what your next major goal is. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the button down below, and of course hit the sub button if you want to see more of this type of content. I stream live on YouTube, so make sure to hit the bell icon below to get notified when I go live. That's all for now. I'm TopherSmurf telling you to keep on gaming.